Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really cool puzzle from the philosophy of language. It's all about how our words manage to, well, stick to the world around us.
So let's start with a question that seems super simple on the surface. When you use the word actually, how does it know to refer to this world, our reality? And not some other possible world where things went a little bit differently. It's a simple word, but it opens up this massive philosophical rabbit hole. And this, right here, is what philosophers call the anchoring problem. It's pretty much this central question when we talk about the semantics of actuality. How do our words get anchored to the real world? And, well, there are two major theories trying to crack this mystery. And here they are, our two main contenders. In one corner, you've got the indexical view, which says the word actually is basically pointing at reality. And in the other corner, there's the descriptive view, which argues it's more like a detailed description. Let's break them both down. Okay, so let's jump into theory number one. This one treats actually as what's known as an indexical, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a direct pointer, kind of like a finger pointing at something. So what exactly is an indexical? It's any word or phrase where the meaning is totally locked to the context it's used in, like who's speaking, where they are, and when they're saying it. And you use these things all the time without even realizing it. Think about words like I, here, or now. If I say I am here now, the meaning of those words completely depends on the fact that it's me saying it from this location at this specific time. The words themselves don't have some fixed universal meaning. So the indexical view says actually works the exact same way. It's like dropping a GPS pin. The second the word is spoken, bam, it directly marks the real world, the context where it was said. It doesn't need a complicated definition, it's just a direct context-based link. All right, now let's flip over to the other side of the argument, the descriptive theory. This approach paints a totally different picture of how we solve that anchoring problem. So instead of pointing, this theory says actually is more like a super rich description. It doesn't just gesture at reality, it contains a whole set of conditions, like a test that only the one true actual world could ever pass.
A great way to think about it is like a super specific address. I'm not just talking street and city. I mean an address so detailed that it could only specify one single location in the entire universe. That's what this theory says actually is, a shorthand for a description so unique that only our world could possibly fit the bill. The connection isn't direct, it's based on meaning. So there you have it, the pointer versus the blueprint, the GPS pin versus the unique address. Let's put them right next to each other to really get at the core difference in how they try to connect our language to reality. At the end of the day, the fundamental difference is this. Is the connection physical or is it conceptual? The indexical theory says it's physical. It's tied directly to the real-world context of you saying the word. But the descriptive theory says, no, it's conceptual. It's tied to a unique meaning that our world has to match up against. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this is all pretty abstract, right? And you're not wrong. But this whole debate has some massive implications for really important fields, especially logic and even how we think about reality itself. So why does it matter? Well, how we nail down the word actually is absolutely fundamental to something called modal logic. That's the logic of what's possible and what's necessary. It helps us wrap our heads around statements that are true, but could have been false. We call these contingent truths. Getting this right is so important for building logical systems that can talk about what is, what must be, and what could have been. It really is a foundational question about how language even makes contact with the world. And it leaves us with this pretty critical final thought. If we can't be sure how our words are anchored, how can we be sure that when we talk to each other, we're actually talking about the same world?